Good evening and welcome to this presentation of Wheaton Thunder Sports here on WETN. My name is Ben Wade, and today the Wheaton College women's soccer team takes on Augustana in the first round of the CCIW Championship at home at Joe Bean Stadium. We want to send it out to Noah Helm and Zach Bowler for all the action of today's game. Go ahead and take it away, guys.
Thanks a lot, Ben. Good evening. I'm Noah Helm, joined by Zach Bowler. Tonight, aside from the first Wheaton CCIW tournament game, also serves as election watch for our great country. I woke up early this morning, drove back home to the south side of Chicago to perform my civic duty, just blocks away from where Barack Obama cast his own ballot. His day will actually wind down in Nevada before flying back to Chicago to await the results, along with hundreds of thousands of others, and yet the place to be, Zach, Joe Bean Stadium, as Wheaton College is about to take on Augustana.
That's right, Noah. There's absolutely no place I'd rather be tonight than here, the first game of the conference tournament for these two teams.
And Wheaton going to take the field right now. Wheaton beat Augustana 3-0 during the regular season. Zach, why don't you run us through the starters for the Thunder?
All right, we will go through the starters quickly before the game starts here. Ingrid Erickson starting in goal. As always for the Thunder, freshman Allie Kopelman starting at forward. Freshman Jamie Orweiler. Sophomore Brittany Berg, freshman Laura Karsten, senior Carrie Kleinstra, junior Maria Delatorre, junior Laura Lidner, senior Kelly Foltz, junior Taryn Lee, and senior Lauren Mosier rounding out the starters.
And for the Vikings of Augustana, Kayla Radloff is going to be in goal, freshman from West Chicago. She was very solid in the first game during the regular season. She's going to be joined on the field as we get underway here by Lauren Pollock, Carey, Aducci, Smith, Johnson, Rekia, Dodds, who's got 11 goals, 2 assists on the season. She's their leading scorer, as well as Colson, Winkleman, and Holtrop. We get underway here. Wheaton's going to be running right to left on your radio dial to start this first half. White jerseys, white socks, and navy blue shorts. And the Vikings of Augustana going to be in yellow, actually not even really jerseys, long sleeve jerseys, we could say, for some of them, and short sleeve for others. Here's Orweiler with the ball running towards the top of the box. It's knocked out towards the Augustana defense, and it's cleared upfield. Again, Augustana in yellow jerseys and navy blue shorts and socks. And Wheaton's got the ball right now on the far side, attacking third of the field, now driving it back to about midfield to Mosier. She's going to play a ball in the air towards the top of the box, collected by Kopelman. Kopelman's got it on her right foot, backtracking, and plays it back to midfield. Lidner's there, and she plays a ball up in the air, and that's going to be taken out of the air by the Augustana defense. Goes straight to Orweiler, though. Now Orweiler plays over, trying to find Mosier, and Mosier loses it back, but Foltz is there and plays in the air down towards the corner flag on the far side. That's going to be Pollock running over there, trying to possess it for Augustana. She plays it out of bounds. Wheaton throw early in this one. Throw's going to go in from Berg to Lee. Lee's trying to go goal line. Plays it across the box. Collected by Kopelman. Trying to put it in past the keeper. No good. Now a long strike from Carson goes back off a defender to Orweiler. Another shot deflected off a defender. Wheaton getting some pressure early, and that's going to go all the way out of bounds. Throw for Delatorre.
And barely time to take a breath here at the beginning of the game, Noah, as Wheaton putting all kinds of pressure on the net here at the beginning of the game.
And here's going to be a high ball played off of Augustana and out of bounds near side. Kopelman to take the throw. She's got one of the better throws on this Wheaton team. Zach, really an asset if you look at attacking straight into the box from these kind of things.
Yeah, especially when you have a throw from that almost the same position as a corner there, if you can utilize that throw in well.
And the throw is cleared off the ground, all the way back to Lindner. Lindner's going to play Foltz in the middle of the field. Foltz plays square across the field to Mosier. Mosier's got it on the far side on her right foot, plays right foot in the air, up over the defense. Lee's going to try to run onto it. Top corner of the box, far side. She's being defended by Recchia, and Recchia is going to play this wisely out of bounds. Throw from the far side of the field goes into Lee. Lee trying to go goal line again, and she gets tripped up a little bit. Goal kick for the Vikings.
And this might be a good time to mention, Noah, this is the first game of the CCIW tournament. There are 4 teams invited to this tournament. Wheaton, the 2 seed for the tournament this year, 16-3-1 on the year. Augustana, the 3 seed, 15-3-0 on the year. 1 seed Illinois Wesleyan will play 4 seed Carthage tomorrow night.
And we will be hopefully taking on the winner of that game. We lost to both of those teams during the regular season by a score of 2-1. We've got to get past Augustana first, though. Throw goes from Mosier back to Lindner in the backfield. Played over now to Foltz. Foltz has it on her right foot. Splits 2 defenders. Upfield finding Kopelman, who hits Delatorre on the near sideline. Delatorre left foot up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra breezing past Recchia, and she's got a little space in front of her. Top corner of the box near side. Now going goal line. Can she cut it back? It's going to go out of bounds. Goal kick.
And while we're talking about the tournament, Noah, really an interesting situation in the tournament this year. The 1 seed in the tournament, Illinois Wesleyan, actually has the worst overall record of the 4 teams in the tournament. They're 14-5-0 on the year. The 4th seed in the tournament, Carthage, actually has the best overall record, 17-2-0 on the year. So things kind of topsy-turvy with those out-of-conference schedules. Really, obviously, the conference schedule is what determines seeding for the tournament.
It's very strange. You'd think that you look at usually the overall records and tournament records match up a little bit, but strength of schedule finds a big role in that. Orweiler coming, attacking third of the field, finding Kopelman now on the near side. Kopelman going to try to get past, looks like Aducci there. Lays it back to Delatorre. Delatorre plays in the air, center of the box. That's going to go off the head of a defender towards the top of the box. Collected by Winkleman, and she plays upfield to Dodds. Dodds lays it back now. Finding Winkleman again, who puts it upfield near side. Trying to hit Pollock. Pollock's got it running in from the side of Wheaton's box, being defended by Delatorre. Plays across the box, and that's going to be cleared by Foltz. Foltz's clearance goes just outside the box to Winkleman, who's up in the attack now. Step by Lindner. Winkleman, long shot. That's going to go in. Hits the far post. Looked like Erickson thought that one of her defenders was going to pick it up.
Yeah, that was a tough play for Erickson to make, Noah, because Augustana had an attacker running towards the ball in the net, and I think Erickson really thought the ball was going to be put on her foot. Instead, it just kept drifting towards that far post.
Really a tough ball. Almost looked like a pass into the box. That's going to give Wheaton an early deficit. Trailing 1-0 exactly 5 minutes into this one. There's still plenty of time left. Again, we did beat Augustana 3-0 during the regular season. I believe we outshot them like 15-3 that game, something like that. And we've seen early pressure, so hopefully that will continue. Ball's going to be on the near far side of the field, actually. Berg's trying to come up with it, and Berg is battling with Colson. Ball rolls out of bounds. That's going to be a throw for the Vikings.
Her 8th of the season for number 27, Caitlin Winkleman.
Well, obviously, that's a great start for Augustana, Noah. I think the key now is going to be how they can play defense, because it hasn't been the offense that's been the problem for Wheaton at all this year. They have been just as prolific on offense as they have ever been.
And that shot, the defense, really no one's quite stepping to it soon enough. Lindner went to it, but just a little bit too late.
Yeah, it seemed very indecisive on the defensive end there for Wheaton.
Lindner's got the ball now around midfield for Wheaton. She's got Delatorre to her left, plays Delatorre near sideline. Delatorre, 2 defenders in front of her, trying to go through Pollock, and cannot. Pollock now lays it back, and it's cleared upfield by Smith. Clearance goes to Karsten, though. Karsten dribbles to her left and sends a through ball on the ground up to Lee, attacking third of the field by the corner flag near side. Lee cutting it back now. Whistle is not called. Lee playing it across the box and out of bounds. Goal kick for Augustana.
That was a good idea. Kleinstra was running at that ball on the far post there. No, it was just played a little bit above her head, and she couldn't quite get to it.
Lee knocked down on that play, but advantage was called as she had space in front of her and a chance to make something happen. She almost did. If you're just joining us, we are almost 7 minutes into this one. Score is 1-0. The Vikings leading your Thunder. First game of the CCIW tournament. The team that wins this tournament will get an automatic bid for the national tournament. Otherwise, the other teams will have to rely on at-large bids, which are very hard to come by. Kopelman trying to come up with the ball top of the box, and that's going to be cleared out. Into Wheaton territory. Fultz backtracking on it. She's got Dodds on her back. Fultz over to Mosier. She's going to try to keep it in play. Dodds and Mosier battling on the far side. Mosier finally wins it and lays it back to Lidner. Lidner bringing it upfield a little bit. She's got one defender in front of her. That's Pollock. Now she puts it near side to Delatorre. Delatorre, last time we played Augustana, I believe, was playing in the middle of the field. Now Orweiler has that position, and Delatorre's playing here on the left midfield side. Delatorre plays Orweiler in the middle of the field. Orweiler with one defender in front of her, trying to go by her. She does. Now she plays Kopelman, top of the box. Kopelman, right foot. Plays in the box. Far side, Kleinstra shot goes just over the crossbar.
That was a good idea there by Kleinstra, trying to surprise the keeper there and just pop it over her head. Just went a little too high, but that was the right idea. That was a great attempt there by Kleinstra at the net.
And we saw when this game was not even underway, when both teams were warming up, Zach, really pretty quiet on both sides.
Yeah, it seemed like there was a lot of focus on the field, Noah. It looked like both teams were into the game and ready to go, and you would expect nothing less. Two very good teams.
Here's Kopelman with the ball in the box, trying to get it past the keeper, and Radloff, who gets off her line fast. We saw that earlier in the season, does it once again and collects to the ball. Her punt's going to come down in Wheaton territory, up by Dodds. Dodds plays over to Colson, who drops it back to Holtrop, who has it taken from her, and then she regains possession of it. Holtrop playing middle of the field. Kopelman going to try to challenge the defense for it. Cleared upfield, though. Taken out of the air by Fultz. Header goes to Johnson. Johnson loses it now far side Wheaton territory to Orweiler, who's got one defender on her back. Orweiler plays middle of the field to Kleinstra. Kleinstra right foot back to Orweiler far side, attacking third now. Orweiler plays right foot across the box into the hands of Radloff.
You mentioned a little bit ago the possibility of an at-large bid to the NCAA tournament, Noah. I was thinking about it. I just do not envy the position of the committee that makes these decisions, especially in this CCIW conference this year. These top four teams are all so strong, and even to just differentiate between them.
And unfortunately, things like winning the national tournament 3 out of the last 4 years count for nothing.
Definitely. And you would think maybe the fact that Wheaton has lost to 2 of the top 4 teams, the other top 3 teams in their conference this year, might actually count more against them than past record and past years would count for them. Bottom line, if you're Wheaton, you can't rely on an at-large bid. You've got to take care of business and win this tournament, because there's no telling who the at-large bids are going to be doled out to when it comes time to make those decisions.
Especially here in the first round of the tournament. If you lose in the finals, you've got a little better chance of getting that at-large bid. But here in the first round, that's a spot you really don't want to lose that. Wheaton is trailing right now. Score is 1-0 to Augustana. About 10 minutes into this one, Orweiler with the ball coming up the middle of the field. One defender on hard from behind, pushed down from behind by Johnson. That's going to be a dangerous free kick for Wheaton. They are about maybe 25 yards out. Short touch to Mosier. Mosier has it right foot. It's going to put a shot on goal. And in the back of the net, she ties it up.
What an unbelievable shot by Lauren Mosier.
That's her second goal of the season, I believe.
She's only scored 2 goals with that kind of shot?
What can we say about that, Zach?
I'm almost speechless, Noah. That shot was taken from I don't even know how to measure that kind of distance. It really wasn't far in front of the center field line. She just blasted it right into the top part of the net. What an incredible shot by Lauren Mosier.
That is her second of the season. She's got 3 assists on the season, but that is her second of the season, maybe her biggest of the season, tying this one up at 1, about 11 minutes into the game.
Yeah, and what a crucial goal, not just the way it was scored, but also the time it was scored, regaining that momentum after Augustana took the early lead.
And Orweiler is down in Augustana territory. Referee not seeing her for a good 45 seconds here, and now finally he sees her, kind of puts his hands up in the air like, how long has she been there? We're going to hope she's okay. But, again, momentum is something in a lot of sports, as time has stopped here, that once it is regained, you can just go with it. Talk about inertia. I mean, this is something Wheaton can take here and try to expand upon in the rest of this first half.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's really why that was such a huge goal, because, you know, when Augie scores early like that, that just sucks the wind out of the place, out of the home crowd. And, you know, early goals are usually crucial in this game. And to get one back in that manner is a huge, huge momentum swing in this game for Wheaton.
And Radloff, I believe, is actually very hard to get a goal by. She's got a .74 goals against average on this season for this Augustana team. They're 15-3 on the year. You talked about it. This conference, these top 4 teams, Carthage 17-2, Augustana 15-3, Wheaton obviously won 3 of the last 4 national championships. We're 16-3-1 on the season, and then you've got Wesleyan, who took care of business against us. They're not a bad 14-5. They're a pretty solid 14-5 team as well. A lot of competition, a lot of talent in this tournament.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we were talking about, Noah. The talent and the amount of skill spread out among these top 4 teams in the CCIW. It's just, how do you even determine between these teams if you're deciding on an at-large bid? That's why they play the tournament, because that's how you determine between these teams, I guess. You play a tournament and you decide who the champion is of the CCIW, and that's what it's really all going to come down to.
So Wheaton's tied it up. It is 1-1. The clock is stopped right now at 33:40 left, and Orweiler is being tended to on the field right now. And this Augustana team, they've, you know, not as much scoring as Wheaton, but you look at almost any team in the nation, and very few teams have 92 goals at the end of the regular season, not to mention a player like Taryn Lee, who's got 26 so far.
Right, and that's what we talked about earlier as well, Noah, that the offense for Wheaton has not been the problem. That kind of offense would be tough for any team to match. It's been the defense giving up a few more than usual suspect goals on the season, I think, that has really hurt Wheaton in some really close games. But the offense has not been lacking, and Taryn Lee is a big part of the reason. She has 26 on the year after setting the school record with 27 last year, so 1 goal away from her own school record.
And Orweiler up off the turf right now. She put pressure on her foot for a little bit, taking several steps with it, and she's actually going to be carried off by trainer Chris Rice and head coach Pete Felsky.
Yeah, it looked like she got tangled up with the Augustana defender there and maybe just got her foot stepped on wrong or something. It'd be tough to speculate on exactly what it was, but it looked like she just got tangled up wrong with the Augie defender there.
Yeah, speculation is not even something we want to dabble into in these areas. So she's actually going to check out, and we pray that that she will be all right in the long run. Something definitely not a great thing to see is seeing one of your key contributors go down early in the game. Hodin is going to check in for her, though, and she can step it up, as we all know. Mosier's going to have the ball on the far side now, play square across the middle of the field to Karsten. Touch too far out in front of her, and that's going to be possessed in the middle of the field by Pollock. Pollock plays upfield, finding Winkleman. Winkleman trying to hit an overlapping Pollock, and off a defender she does. But here comes Karsten, and she regains possession for Wheaton, lays it back to Lindner, and Lindner is going to clear it out. Clearance goes straight to the head of Winkleman, though, and now a foul is called on Kleinstra in the middle of the field. Coming up on the attacking third for Augustana. This is going to be a free kick from a little under 40 yards out. Maybe close to the distance that Mosier put that equalizer in with. Kick to be taken by Carey. Played in the box towards the far post. Taken out of the air by Augustana. Header on goal. Erickson is there, though.
That's a good set piece from Augie there, Noah. That's crossed into the box well and played on net well, but Erickson was there.
Short roll goes to Mosier. Mosier with a defender on her back and on her left. Plays upfield to Kleinstra, middle of the field. Kleinstra in that substitution moved back, playing Orweiler's position, now center attacking midfield. Hodina moved up top. She's going to be joining Lee and Kopelman. Lee trying to win the ball in the box for Wheaton right now. She is dispossessed by co-captain Darla Smith. Darla Smith plays it upfield. That's going to be Winkleman with it. Winkleman loses it. Out of bounds off her own player, Smith. Wheaton throw now. Delatorre looks upfield and finds Kopelman. Header by Kopelman. Flick on header to herself. No good. Clearance goes back to Foltz. Foltz with a long ball now into Lee towards the top of the box, and that's going to be cleared out once again, though. Short clearance before a final high clearance by Carey. Out of bounds, almost up into the stands. Thrown out for Berg on the far side. Berg's throw goes into Hodina, who just checked into the game. Hodina battling for it on the far side of the field. Could lay it back to Berg. Goes goal line instead. Now trying to play it across the box. That's touched by the Augie defense and finally cleared out. Clearance goes up towards Dodds and Foltz battling for it at the top of Wheaton's attacking third, and Foltz with a good tackle. That's going to go out of bounds, though. Augie throw. Throw on the far side goes in off the chest of Berg. Berg backtracking now, trying to catch up with it as it skipped up over her head after she chested it. And now it's cleared to about the midfield line. Karsten with it on her left foot. Plays back to Lidner. Lidner's got a little bit of time in front of her. She's got Delatorre showing line on the near side. Foltz square, and she plays all the way across the field to Mosier. Mosier plays line far side to Berg, and she could have space in front of her. Here she goes. She's going to start taking it. She's got one defender on hard behind. Cuts it back middle of the field and lays it back to Mosier, who plays a high ball straight towards the top of the box over the head of that Augustana defense. Looked like statistician Rusty Lindsay believed it was a handball. That would have been nice for Wheaton.
Yeah, and that looked close to a handball in Augustana's own box. That not very careful play by Augustana there in their own end, heading it backwards, and then looked like getting it with the arm, but referee didn't deem that to be intentional enough to warrant the PK.
And this early in the game, that would have really been deflating for Augustana after Wheaton got that long goal from Mosier to tie things up at 1 here. That's where we stand. A little under half hour left in this first half. Kopelman running right, attacking third of the field, plays around her, trying to find Hodina, and that's cleared out. Clearance bounces once, now twice, finds Lidner's feet, and Lidner plays square to Foltz towards the far side of the field, and Foltz now rotates it all the way over to Mosier. Mosier with it on her left foot, plays up to Hodina. Hodina is going to have this one roll under her foot and out of bounds across the goal line. This will be a goal kick for Radloff. And we're going to have to watch out for the substitutions on this Augustana team, Zach. They've got several key contributors who come off the bench and play a pretty big role.
Yeah, we talked about it before the game. Their 3 leading scorers actually have all, none of them have really started a great portion of the games that they've ended up playing. And Augustana has played 18 games on the year, and their 3 leading scorers have started in 9, 11, and 13 games respectively. So a lot of firepower coming off the bench for this Augustana team.
And those players in particular that we're going to have to watch out for as the ball's played in towards Wheaton's box. Lidner's going to have it cleared out. Ashley Higuchi, she's got 8 goals on the season. And let's see, that final Augustana player that we'll have to watch out for coming off the bench is Katie Oakes. Throw now near side for Smith. Smith throw goes down the line, now played middle of the field. Augustana trying to win it, and Johnson's not able to. Loses it to Foltz. Foltz plays over Mosier. Mosier plays on the ground upfield. Good through ball idea, trying to find Lee, but a better step by the defense. Johnson trying to win it again in the middle of the field. She can't. Hodina comes up with it. Hodina and Lee playing with it. Hodina plays to Lee. Lee going towards the top of the box. Cleared out. Good clearance to space, and Lidner's going to have to come all the way over to the near side to play this. Lidner lays the ball back now away from pressure to Fultz, and she's going to play with her right foot over far side to Mosier, who plays line to Berg. Good ball rotation. Berg with the ball on her right foot on the far sideline. Slide tackle. That's a foul as Berg goes down now. Score is 1-1. Little over 27 minutes left, and time is going to be stopped once again, and Chris Rice will make his second appearance on the field. So Orweiler went down first. She came out about 8 minutes ago, and now Berg is down on the far side of the field. And you can't say it's because Augustana is playing dirty.
No, they're not. They're certainly not playing dirty. They are playing very physical defense, and obviously these things happen sometimes when you play very physical defense. But you can't say that they've played dirty or done anything intentionally at this point.
And the good thing about this Wheaton team is that their bench is very, very deep. You can put in a number of people. You've got people in the midfield that you look at that have gotten significant minutes this year and are ready and waiting to contribute. Caitlin Kish-Kunis, Hodina has already checked in and has begun contributing. Also in the midfield, Mary Beth Grove, converted defender. She played defense for the great majority of last year. She can come in the midfield and contribute, as can Ann Turner. We've seen her a lot in that center midfield position. This is a team that goes 22, 23 players deep.
Yeah, and this is the reason that the coaching staff has gotten these players significant minutes all season long is for situations like this. You know, you get into the conference tournament in a must-win kind of situation, and these things happen sometimes. Your top players will go down, and that's why these players have played significant minutes all season long, so they can come in and be game tested, have that experience, and be ready to step right in and contribute.
And one of the really impressive things about this Wheaton team has been the number of new players in their program. Being able to retain that ability to be a team that goes deep for the entire roster. And yet we've got 13 new players, 10 of those 13 new players are all freshmen. This is a team with a lot of talent that's going to be good for, you would think, the next 4 years at least.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and that's one thing that Wheaton has always been good at, and that's part of the reason why they've been able to consistently be the best team in the CCIW. In fact, we were talking about it earlier. This is the first year that Wheaton didn't win the regular season CCIW championship or regular season record, have the best regular season record in the CCIW in all their years of being in the CCIW. So, and that's a big part of the reason. You know, Wheaton lost 3 games this year, but bottom line, they have that many new players, and they're still 16-3-1 on the year. That's a pretty impressive feat.
Especially when everyone's gunning for you, trying to take down the defending national champions. Every game seems to bring out the best in opposing teams.
2-time defending national champions.
That's right. How could I? Unreal. Come on, Noah Helm. Berg is going to be walking off the field unassisted.
Yeah, she looks all right, and that's good news for the Thunder.
She will get a breather here, and we'll see if she rejoins us later in this half or in the second half. Not sure if we saw a substitution already for her. I'm scanning the field, and I don't see one yet. And Coach Tim Daniels, assistant coach Tim Daniels, alerts the referee to the fact that Wheaton will not be substituting a player for her. So Wheaton will be one player down. Long ball by Mosier, far post, just over the head of Kolpelman. Goal kick for Augustana.
And for Augie, number 16, Megan Bummert.
And so here you see Tim Daniels yelling out directions to Aaron Hodina, who checked in up top when Orweiler went out. Now that Berg is out, Wheaton would have been playing a 3 defenders in the back, 3 in the midfield, 3 up top, because they're playing 1 person down. And Coach Tim Daniels, assistant coach Tim Daniels, telling Aaron Hodina to drop back to the midfield. Let's play a little bit more defensively since we're playing 1 player down.
Yeah, interesting that Wheaton has chosen to go with 10 players here. You can only guess that maybe Coach Daniels expects Berg to get back in relatively quickly.
And I think you're right as she's walking back over to the midfield line, so that is definitely good news for Wheaton. And here comes Augustana now, a little bit of a counterattack. Dodds up top waiting to get the ball. Ball is dropped back instead. Looks like Mummert received it. She just checked into the game. Mummert plays up to Winkleman, who's got the ball bouncing in the middle of the field. Finally, Delatorre steps and knocks it back out to Mummert, who plays it straight off of Hodina. A lot of ricochet here and there, and a handball is called on Hodina. That was just I thought that was just a kind of a very unavoidable situation she was in.
That's adding insult to injury when you get a ball pounded off your face, put your hand up there to protect yourself, and then get a handball called on you.
And now a ball played into the box off of Kolperman. That's going to roll to Erickson, and she's going to have a little time. Wheaton College and Augustana College tied 1-1. Augustana struck first on a nice shot from just outside the box on the near side. On the ground all the way to the far post. Very tough because it was shielded from Erickson. She thought her defenders were going to be able to get it. And then Wheaton came back and tied it up off of a long shot from Mosier, her second goal of the season. And that's where we stand right now. Karsten with it in the middle of the field, plays to Kleinstra, who's back in the midfield again. Kleinstra drops to Foltz, who plays upfield, trying to find Kolperman, and it's going to be a high clearance. That one touched by Recchia. It's going to take one bounce to the feet of Foltz, and she's going to lose it now to Dodds. Dodds trying to send Pollock down the near sideline, and it's going to go out of bounds. Wheaton throw. Throw goes back to Lindner. Touched a little bit too far out in front of her. Good slide tackle by Dodds, keeping her honest. Now Lindner plays over to Mosier on the far side of the field. Mosier plays upfield. That's going to go straight to Viking feet. Now played back towards the Wheaton top of the box, cleared out by Foltz. Hodina trying to come up with it in the middle of the field, and Kleinstra eventually will. Kleinstra with it near the side of the center circle. One defender on her back, that's Pollock. Plays left foot upfield, and that's going to be a tough touch out of bounds by Recchia. Throw for Wheaton coming up on their attacking third of the field on the near side.
We've seen a little bit of sloppy play here in the last few minutes. A lot of kind of bumpy play, not a whole lot of possession out there.
And there's another long ball straight to the defense. Really, you're right. No balls to the feet, trying to find the open player. And here's Carson with the ball, spins around one defender, has it on her right foot. Plays to Kleinstra. Kleinstra with the ball coming up on the top of the box. Shot goes off of a defender. Good step by Carey. Now ball goes back to Mosier. Long laser beam shot. That's going to go off a defender and out of bounds. Corner kick. She's looking for her second of the game.
I think it's time for Augustana to start defending the 75-foot shot from Mosier.
It's like when you got a player in basketball who can put it in from half court every single time.
Yep.
Mosier taking another shot now on goal. That's going to bounce into the hands of Radloff.
She came ready to play tonight, Noah.
She's ready. I would have to agree. Punt taken out of the air by Karsten and knocked back towards her. Winkleman with it, though. Winkleman lays it back now, finding Smith. Smith touching the ball up the line to Pollock. Pollock plays middle of the field back to Winkleman, who plays upfield finding Dodds. Dodds back to Winkleman now across midfield. And now a long ball on the ground all the way back to Lindner. Lindner plays to Erickson, who has it on Wheaton's own goal line. Erickson plays near side to Delatorre, who plays back middle of the field. Foltz, some of the better possession we've seen coming from the defensive third of the field. Delatorre now coming upfield, plays across midfield on the ground to Kleinstra. Kleinstra playing that center midfield position, not up top. Kleinstra over to Berg, far side. After checking back in after her momentary leave of absence from the injury. She seems all right, though. Wins a throw-in on the far side. She's going to toss this one back to Mosier. Mosier's got it on her right foot, touch to her right, and now a long ball off a defender and out of bounds. I think they're beginning to learn. That time a defender stepped to it. Now a ball played off of Lee. Lee drops it back to Berg. Berg, a high ball into the middle of the box collected by Radloff.
Good keeping there from Radloff. She stepped up, saw the ball coming in, and played it well, because that could have been a very dangerous situation for Augustana.
She gets off her line well. 1-1 is your score. 21.5 minutes left in the first half. First game of the CCIW tournament for Wheaton, looking to advance to the finals to take on either Carthage or Illinois Wesleyan. Far side of the field near Wheaton's own corner flag. Mosier plays middle of the field to Lindner. Lindner carrying it up on the ground may force the defender to commit before she plays the ball. And she's still carrying it up now. Coming up on the bottom of the circle. And she's still coming. Goes by Winkleman and then finally plays over to Kleinster. Kleinster trying to send Berg down the far sideline. A nice touch pass being shielded out of bounds, though. That's going to be a Wheaton throw actually off of Colson. Throw for Berg. Goes in towards the middle of the field, trying to find Lee. Lee trying to go goal line. That's going to go out of bounds. Goal kick for Augustana. And here's Higuchi. She's got 8 goals, 3 assists on the season. She's going to get dodged, though.
Yeah, Augustana trying to get something going on offense. We've mentioned a few times how it's Wheaton's offense that really seems to have been clicking better than the defense this year. But the defense has played very well in this game, so Augustana trying to switch it up, come with a little different look.
And it looked like almost another handball in the box for Augustana. Kleinster with it, far side of the field, coming up on the corner flag, trying to cut it back towards the middle of the field. She loses it, long clearance off the foot of Berg, back to Kleinster, and Kleinster plays it middle of the field, finally cleared out towards Mosier, who plays it line to Berg. Berg plays middle of the field, finding Karsten, lets it roll through her legs and keeps running with it. Switching play now, plays near side to Delatorre. Delatorre has got Pollock in front of her, takes her to her right, and then loses it to Winkleman off the pass. Winkleman loses it, though, to Lee. Lee cutting back towards the center of the field, plays Kopelman. Kopelman drops it to Kleinster. She may have a long shot here, and she takes a right-footed ball into the box off of Lee's hand. Nothing is called. Finally cleared out. Kleinster, another long ball into the box. Hodina going to try to win it. Hodina playing right foot to Lee. Oh. Lee into the hands of Radloff and out of the hands of Radloff. And now finally, long clearance by Smith. Clearance goes to Mosier. Mosier lays it back to Lindner, who takes it upfield straight past Higuchi, who just checked into the game. Lindner still coming upfield. Coming towards the top of the box is Lindner. Now she loses it temporarily. Lee regains it, passes to Kleinster. Kleinster trying to hit Kopelman in the box, and it's going to be cleared out. This clearance is going to roll out of bounds on the near side in Wheaton territory. Looks like Foltz will take the throw. A lot of action there.
Yeah, a few tense moments there in the offensive end for Wheaton. Some really sloppy defending by Augustana there. They had a lot of trouble clearing the ball twice in a row there. Wheaton needs to take advantage of that if it happens again, obviously.
And Hodina going to try to win the ball in the attacking third of the field. She's not going to be able to as Winkleman comes up with it. Winkleman plays in the air, taken out of the air by Foltz, and then a follow-up header by Karsten is won. Karsten to Kleinster. Kleinster loses it to the defense, and now a clearance a little back and forth here. Karsten finally comes up with it, middle of the field, top of the circle. Plays to Delatorre. He's got tons of space on her left. Finds Lee. Lee running towards the goal and touched too far out in front of her. Radloff is going to have it. Long punt by Radloff, taken out of the air by Mosier. And a follow-up header by the Augustana defense goes out of bounds for a Wheaton throw. This throw taken by Berg. Berg's throw up to Lee. Lee trying to work some magic on Aducci and now plays it across the goal. Beautiful ball. No one is there, though. Kopelman comes up with it finally before it goes out of bounds and plays back to Delatorre. Delatorre with the defender in front of her, goes right by Winkleman. Now lays it back to Karsten. Karsten has it on her right foot, plays a ball in the air, trying to find Lee off the head of Aducci and out of bounds for a Wheaton corner.
Thunder, corner kick.
And this is something we saw, I believe the last game we did, Zach. The opposing team was sending 2 defenders at us on our corner kicks. We were not able to play it short. Not the case here.
No, not at all. And Wheaton has been able to get something going on the 2 corners that they've had in this game, playing it short and then working their way towards the box.
This one just a missed header by Kopelman. Good ball, though, across the box off the short corner kick and then working it in. Possession, possession, possession. Now Foltz's throw goes down line to Kopelman. She's not going to be able to keep it in as she tries to turn towards the line. Throw for Smith.
And you're standing number 17, Jenna Doyle. Ladies and gentlemen, be sure to visit.
So Doyle will check into the game, and she is going to grab Colson.
Food service, Bon Appetit, is serving hot chocolate and many other things to eat.
Doyle, primarily a defensive player.
Yeah, Augie making a defensive substitution late in the first half here. with Wheaton controlling most of the possession and getting most of the chances, probably just trying to prevent another Wheaton goal before halftime.
Wheaton's one goal came off a long and pretty strong shot by Mosier. Tied it up at 1. That's where we are right now. 1-1, 16 minutes left first half. Ball on the ground into the box, trying to find Lee. Too far out in front of her. Radloff's got it. And Lee, her next goal will be record-setting, Zach.
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, Lee, 27 goals for a school record last year. She's got 26 right now. So you've got to think if Wheaton can extend their season, she's got a pretty good chance of breaking her own record.
School record of, you said she tied it right now? So 26?
She's down by 1 right now. She's at 26,
right okay.
And she scored 27 last year.
Gotcha. Free kick taken by Augustana, taken off the head of Kleinster. Now a long ball down the far sideline, out of bounds by Berg. Throw for Augustana. Throw taken. Hodina steps to it, trying to win it and play middle of the field maybe. No, she'll go down line instead to Lee. Lee being defended by a couple Augustana players, primarily Aducci. Now a long ball into the box, off of the head of Pollock, towards the top of the box, and Winkleman plays it. This is going to roll towards Wheaton territory. Delatorre trying to possess it. Delatorre being pressed in the back by Doyle, out of bounds off of Doyle. And looks like we got a sub here for Wheaton. Kishaba is going to check into the game, and she'll get Kopelman. Kishaba will be playing up top along with Lee and Hodina. So the backfield for Wheaton right now, Foltz, Lidner, Mosier. In the center of the field, Karsten, and in front of her, Kleinstra. Out on the wings, Berg and Delatorre, right and left respectively. And then across the top, once again, Kishaba, Lee, and Hodina. Little over 14 minutes left. Throw far side for Mosier. She's going to look down line, finds Berg. Berg lays it back to Mosier, who plays a long ball with her right foot. This is going to bounce once towards the top of the box. Header goes straight down. Kishaba wins it. Kishaba plays Lee, and Lee touch far ahead to Radloff. Radloff is going to pick this up and bounce it a couple times. This punt goes high, and it's going to come down in Wheaton territory off the head of Delatorre back towards the defense. Lidner plays one time upfield. Her ball is taken out of the air by Smith. Little back and forth once again in midfield. Karsten finally comes up with it, and a high ball out of bounds. Karsten will have a throw now on the near side. And the center official is going to call it off of Wheaton. Not sure if there was a Wheaton player within several yards of the ball that was played out.
Yeah, it certainly didn't look like it.
Nonetheless, throw for Augustana, and maybe it'll benefit Wheaton in the long run. You ever wonder if one thing had gone different, the whole game would have gone different?
And that's the nature of the game, of course. Just one little throw-in like that can make a huge difference. You never know.
And you never will know. Ball now played back from Berg to Mosier, playing towards the top of the box. That's taken and played upfield by Aducci. Aducci trying to find Doyle, and Doyle keeps it inbounds on the near side, coming up across midfield on the ground, being defended by Karsten. Doyle plays down the line, finding Higuchi, not Aducci, and Higuchi lays it back before it's cleared out of bounds by Winkleman. Throw for Wheaton. Throw goes in from Foltz to Karsten. Karsten lays it back to Lidner. And now finally they're sending a defender on her, so she won't step upfield into the attack. That's going to be Berg with the ball on the far side. Goes out of bounds off of Augustana. Throw for Berg. We remind you, if you're not watching this game already and you'd like to watch it online, go to www.wetn.org. Click on the drop-down box that says Watch Live. You can watch this game along with the men's game that will occur tomorrow night at 7. You can watch those online on www.wetn.org. Ball played from Karsten on the ground up to Mosier. Mosier with it at the bottom of the circle, plays up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra trying to win it. Hodina with a flick-on pass, trying to find an attacker upfield. Kishaba takes it out of the air. Header goes straight to the defense, though. Smith is going to decide what to do with it. She plays it long to the feet of Karsten. And Karsten loses it off her first touch. Here comes Augustana down the middle of the field. Good defense by Mosier, taking it away from Pollock. Mosier plays over far side to Berg. Berg's got it on her right foot, plays upfield, looked like off a defender, finding Kashaba in the middle of the field, top of the circle. Kashaba cuts it under one of her legs and finally has it taken from her. Ball goes back to Lindner. She's got space in front of her. Look out. Coming into the attack. One defender on her back. That's Higuchi. Lindner lays it back now to Berg. Berg plays high in the air towards the top of the box, taken out of the air by the defense. Header goes to Kleinstra. Kleinstra's got it on her right foot, coming towards the top of the box, far side, plays right foot, trying to find Lee in the middle, and that's going to go over her head. Lee keeps this in bounds, though. Now lays it back to Delatorre. Delatorre plays right foot one time towards the top of the box, whiffed by a defender. Final clearance by a second. Ball goes to Mosier. Mosier plays Kleinstra as a couple defender step. Really packing it in here is Augustana as the ball rolls out of bounds across the goal line for a goal kick.
And two good opportunities there for Wheaton, Noah, and both of them started on the defensive end with great plays by Lauren Mosier. I think she ate her Wheaties this morning or something. She has been consistently the best player on the field for Wheaton in this game. It wasn't just the goal. She's been making plays on offense and defense so far in the game.
Put her on a box. Who wants Tiger Woods when you can have Lauren Mosier?
I could go for that.
I'll buy it. Long ball now played to Mosier. Mosier's got it on her right foot now, cuts it back over to her left. Coming up field, plays on the ground up to Kleinstra. Kleinstra cuts it back, has it on her right foot still. Now plays towards Lindner. Lindner has it. One touches towards the near side. Delatorre's got it. Delatorre defender in front of her, trying to go past Doyle. She will. Now plays it square to Karsten in the middle of the field. Karsten lays it back to Mosier. We have another long shot by Mosier, and that's going to go wide.
Well placed again. She didn't miss that near post by much, Noah. She just put it wide, and it looked like it was about the right height to sneak in there again.
You hear everyone inhale, getting ready to cheer from the sidelines. Goal kick now. This to be taken by Anna Carey. Solid goal kick, taken off the head by Foltz. Header goes near side. Delatorre drops it back to Lindner. Lindner's got it on her right foot coming upfield just a little bit. Plays left foot now over the head of Lee. Lee hasn't really had too much to work with. This Augustana defense containing her pretty well.
Yeah, they've done a good job. This is one of those games that reminds me a little bit of the last game we did together, Noah. Wheaton against Illinois Wesleyan. Wheaton controlling play, getting most of the offensive opportunities, but it's one of those games that you never know what could happen in transition. Wheaton has to be careful that they don't let an easy one up on the other end.
And another throw-in called in favor of Augustana. Long clearance now off the throw for Augustana, taken out of the air by Foltz. Clearance off the head goes up to Karsten. Karsten plays in the air to Lee. Lee with the ball, middle of the box, tries to play past Radloff, who just makes a phenomenal save.
That's a great save by Radloff there. It looked like Lee had the entire net to shoot at, and Radloff just stuck out that arm and made a great save.
Jamie Herman.
Herman's going to check into the game now. She's going to grab Hodina. Comes this time of year, you recall back to Florida. Jamie had the lone goal in the NCAA Women's Division III National Championship game. Lee with the ball trying to play back across the box, and Radloff's got it. So Herman will be playing up top with Kashaba and Lee. And the ball will roll to the backfield. Lindner's got it, plays to Foltz. Foltz plays upfield on the ground to Kashaba, who turns around past one defender. Nice turn. Sliding tackle by Aducci dispossesses her. And a long clearance back to Lindner. They're telling Higuchi to pressure her. She not an all-out sprint, but made Lindner give the ball up. Now far side, you can hear the train going by behind us. Joe Bean Stadium. Ball comes middle of the field. And now coming towards the near side, that's going to be Doyle with it. Doyle plays a long ball on the ground. Lindner has it on her right foot. Plays to Berg, who has it on the far sideline, defending third of the field for Wheaton. Coming up, she's got a defender in front of her and behind her. Now cutting middle of the field, splits a couple with the pass. Finds Kleinstra. Kleinstra goes line right around one defender, and Herman's got it. Attacking third for Wheaton. Now top of the box, far side extended. Herman tries to go goal line past one defender, and an offensive foul is called on Herman as it was a clean tackle, and then Jamie's arms just carried out in front of her and knocked her defender down.
Yeah, it's tough to stop your own momentum in that situation. I think it was the right call. It looked like Herman did stick out her arms and kind of knock over the Augustana defender while she was going for the ball, but it's tough to stop yourself there. It looked like the Augie defender did a good job of taking the charge there.
Free kick taken in, comes right back towards Carey. She'll take another one, this time off a slow roll, taken out of the air by Lindner. Header goes up, unfortunately, straight to Augustana, but they play it right back to Delatorre, and Delatorre plays it back into Augustana possession. That's Mummert with it, and she plays it to Mosier. Mosier now plays over Delatorre, and here maybe we'll see a little beginning of possession. Delatorre plays square to Karsten, and she's going to leave it for Mosier coming up into the attack. Mosier has Karsten behind her, plays left foot instead up to Lee, trying to get her some touches on the ball. Lee loses it to several defenders, and ball is played on the ground before Foltz puts it in the air towards the top of the box. Taken out of the air by Captain Recchia. Now back to Lee with a long shot over the crossbar. And we'll have a couple substitutions here. Holly Tim and Liz Schubert checking into the game for Augustana. And they're going to grab Higuchi and Winkleman. And Turner checks into the game. She's going to grab Karsten, who gets a breather with about 5 minutes left. Wheaton College and Augustana still tied at 1. Ball goes up to Kashaba. Kashaba lays it back to Delatorre, who plays it in the air towards Herman. Taken out of the air by Herman, goes to Lee. Lee with it near the top of the box, and she is swarmed once again.
Yeah, Lee not with a whole lot of space to work with out there at all.
Ball is cleared back to Turner. She's going to let it roll to Mosier. Mosier has it on her left foot. You hear head coach of Augustana. You hear head coach Scott Masia calling to close down space whenever Mosier has the ball. After that, basically, what was it, a full length of the field goal?
That's the way it looked to me, Noah, and I think that's, that story will probably get exaggerated more every time we tell it about where Mosier scored from.
She took it from the public safety parking lot.
That's what it looked like to me, yeah. All right, she was almost in Lombard. I think she might have been on the border.
And ball goes in now from the near side to Lee. Lee trying to play it back to Kashaba in the box. She can't. Ball's played out towards the top corner of the box near side. Now played middle and collected by Augustana. Clearance goes to Foltz, plays up to Kashaba, takes a long strike on goal. Radloff's got it. I've got to think it's a rare thing to beat Radloff in the air. Kashaba putting a pretty good hit, though, on that one. Ball's going to roll far side of the field to Berg. Coming up on 3.5 left in the first half. Still tied 1-1, Wheaton and Augustana. First round of the CCIW tournament play. Ball down the far sideline to Herman. Herman keeps it in bounds and plays down the line. Carey stepped to it, though, and her step will result in a throw-in for Wheaton. Throw from Herman to, looks like Lee up there, and Lee's going to play it out of bounds.
I think the line judge there called a handball on Lee. It looked like it might have popped up on her. Or not.
Or not, as we see a throw, putting the ball back in play. It'd be a handball of its own. Quite illegal. Foltz with a good step, winning a ball in the air around midfield on the far side. Now Mosier wins a ball in the air. And Foltz thought about going high with her foot. That would have been a dangerous play. She pulled it back. Delatorre wins the ball in Wheaton territory, puts it back towards the top of the circle for Wheaton before Mummert comes up with it, who loses it now to Berg. Berg coming middle of the field, plays on the ground up to Kashaba. Little chip pass over towards the far side, trying to find Herman or Lee. Holtrop has it.
That's got to be a handball there on the Augustana defender.
And good call, Mr. Bowler. Another dangerous free kick. And the first Wheaton goal was off a free kick. Will this one be off a free kick? Or will this free kick result in a goal of its own? Played back to Mosier, and space is closed fast. Mosier plays back to Berg, and it's going to be touched out of bounds off of Pollock.
Yeah, that's one of those that it looked like Wheaton was a little too eager to put the ball back into play. You would have liked to see them set something up from that distance.
Had a pretty decent opportunity right there. Couldn't really get the ball towards the box, though. Berg will here, plays it in the air. That's going to be taken, though, off the head of Recchia and out of bounds. Throw now for Wheaton near the corner flag of Augustana on the far side. Throw to be taken by Kleinstra. Throw goes back to Mosier. Step out is called. Mosier plays in the air, across the box, taken out of the air once again by Recchia. Headed towards the top of the box. Turner winning it and then losing it. It's going to be headed upfield by Schubert. Kleinstra wins it, plays on the ground up to Lee. Lee trying to turn middle of the field. She's knocked down. This is an even better opportunity for a free kick than the previous one.
Yeah, this one a little more centered, probably about the same distance back from the goal, but more in the center of the field. Another great chance for Wheaton.
They're going to play this short to Mosier. She's going to take another strike. This one rocketed off a defender. And then a long ball cleared by co-captain Smith and out of bounds.
And why not? After seeing that first goal from Mosier, I'd let her take a shot off of every free kick Wheaton has.
Oh, do it all day. Throw for Wheaton again. Move upfield a little bit off the header that goes out of bounds. This throw goes in towards Lee. It's going to be knocked middle of the field towards Kishaba. She's trying to win it in the box. It's going to be poked out once again by the Augustana defense. Coming up on 30 seconds left in the first half. Wheaton trying to squeeze one through before halftime. Ball played to Kishaba. Drops it back Delatorre. Delatorre, long ball. This could challenge Radloff, and it did, but she was equal to it.
As expected, Noah, Radloff has been great in this game. She's handled every one of those shots. Wheaton has put quite a few long shots that have been good shots and really would have challenged any keeper in this conference. But Radloff has been equal to the task.
8, 7, 6.
And Mosier just going to throw this in, and it'll end the first half.
1.
So at halftime, your score is Wheaton College Thunder 1 and the Augustana Vikings 1. We saw Orweiler go down early with an injury in that first half, and Berg went down as well. Berg was able to return. Not sure if we will see Orweiler in the second half. What has Wheaton got to focus on coming into the second half, putting that injury aside to take full control of this game in the sense of putting one or two in the back of the net?
Well, it's cliche, but you have to keep doing what you're doing. If you're Wheaton, it's tough because you're disappointed, of course, that the score is 1-1, but you can't be disappointed with the way you've played. Wheaton, I don't think they had a good opportunity. Augustana didn't have a good opportunity on net for probably the last 30 minutes of that half. Wheaton controlled play, did a good job of shutting them down on defense, and really controlled play in the Augustana end. So you just have to keep putting the pressure on, and you've got to assume that you're gonna push one through eventually.
All right, so at halftime, your score is 1-1. We'll have halftime statistics for you when we come back. But for now, we're going to send it back to Ben Wade in the studio.
It's going to be important for Wheaton to come out early and establish themselves early in the second half.
I'm sure that is the last thing a lot of these girls on the field want, is for this game to go to overtime. But you know, when that happens, you just got to continue to try to take care of business. They're going to do it in this second half. Wheaton's going to be running left to right on your radio dial in this second half. And we're going to see who they're sending out to take the field. And it looks like it's going to be up top from left to right, far side to near side. Kopelman, Lee, and Herman. Then in the midfield, attacking midfield, you've got Delatorre moving back to her position where she was at the beginning of this year. Again, Orweiler went out with some sort of an injury in the first half. Delatorre is being supported by Karsten, and then on their left is Kleinstra, on their right is Berg. And then in the back, the three-defender backfield for Wheaton from right to left, Mosier, Lidner, and Foltz. Mosier's got it right now. She's got a goal to her credit already. Sends a long ball down the near side, trying to find Herman. Out of bounds, attacking third for Wheaton, defending third for Augustana. Throw for the Vikings. Looks like this throw is going to be taken by Holtrup. Taken out of the air, though, by Herman. Follow-up header by Lee. That's going to go out of bounds. And this is going to be a throw for Wheaton, actually. Lee looking towards the middle of the field. Flick on header by Delatorre, and then headed out of bounds by Holtrup. Wheaton's going to get a corner early in the first minutes of the second half. Corner played short to Herman. Herman drops it back to Lee. Lee plays top of the box. That's going to be a shot, and then a deflection by a defender. Berg putting a shot towards the goal, out of bounds. Throw now for Wheaton by the corner flag near side. Already shouts from the sideline telling them to step to Mosier, who the throw goes into. Mosier puts a long ball on goal into the hands of Radloff. I think you're right. You said in the first half she ate her Wheaties this morning. She came ready to play.
Yeah, and she continues to shoot, and why not? She's throwing the ball at the net, and almost everything she's thrown at the net has been a good, solid opportunity, even if it's been from distance.
And you never know, one of those might be bobbled by Radloff, even if she gets in front of it, and then we've got some garbage duty. Kopelman with the ball coming upfield now. Attacking third of the field, middle of the field. Has got Lee in front of her. Takes her defender to her right now. Sliding tackle, trying to retain possession. Pokes it back, trying to find Karsten. That's not going to find Karsten, though. Finds Recchia instead. Now Kopelman wins it back in the midfield and drops it to Kleinstra. Long ball towards the top of the box. Taken out of the air by Carey. Header goes over to the far side and cleared upfield by Smith. Smith's clearance is going to bounce once and spin back right under the legs of Kleinstra. Karsten trying to win it in the middle of the field, bottom of the circle for Wheaton. She does and drops it back to Lidner. Lidner's got it on her right foot with one defender in front of her and plays upfield to Karsten. Karsten's got it right around the midfield line, plays over far side to Kopelman. Kopelman with the defender on her back and in front of her. Drops it back to Kleinstra, who sends Lee down the far sideline, sends her too far. Throw for the Vikings now. Haven't really seen too much play with the ball in the midfield since Orweiler went out. Again, Coach Falski earlier in the year said he liked playing her at that position because she could get them upfield pretty fast. And here's a negative ball across the box trying to find Herman, and she's going to touch it just too far out in front of her. Winkleman clears it out of bounds on the far side. Throw goes in from Wheaton to Lee and out of bounds off a defender. Another throw for Kleinstra. This one goes back to Delatorre. She'll turn with it and play a high ball towards the top of the box. Herman is there. It's going to be taken out of the air, though, by Holtrup. Header goes to Kopelman. Kopelman heads it into the box, headed out by Carey, headed back in by Kopelman. Trying to find Lee. Lee trying to win it in the box, and that's going to go off of Lee for a goal kick.
Both teams a little more methodical to start this half now. It looks like Wheaton trying to control possession a little bit more and not just race towards the net as quickly as they have been, and Augustana trying to counter that by playing the ball out more and just trying to keep Wheaton from getting to the center part of the field.
And Wheaton's got it in the center part of the field right now. Mosier with it. Mosier going right now. She puts a shot on goal. That's going to be taken off the head of Carey. And out of bounds, throw for Wheaton. Throw may go back to Mosier. It does. She plays the ball in the air towards the top of the box. Lee's going to try to win it. Wheaton not really winning anything out of the air towards the top of the box right now.
Lee unhappy there. It looked like the defender jumped into her back a little bit and knocked her down. She was looking for the call there.
Been really good actually taking it to the goal line and then cutting it back. And they did it right here. Now plays it to the top of the box again, though. And Augustana just collecting everything from the top of the box. Good win out of the air by Foltz. Headed up to Delatorre. Delatorre rolls her right foot over the ball. Coming upfield. Plays on the ground trying to find Berg or Herman. Little miscommunication maybe. Berg is going to catch up with it anyway and keep it in bounds. Impressive run. Berg with it still. Two defenders on her. And she loses it out of bounds off of Augustana, though. Colson touched it last. Ball played middle towards Lee, and Lee's going to turn. Ball's going to run too far out in front of her. Clearance off of Augustana's own defense. Now back to Karsten, headed it towards the top of the box. And cleared out back towards Karsten. Karsten heads it backwards. Backtracking is Kleinstra. She cuts middle of the field, running around one defender. She's got Delatorre behind her. Mosier square and drops to Karsten instead. Karsten plays up to Mosier. Mosier with a defender on hard. Cuts it under her, one of her legs. Has Berg on the outside. Trying to play her. Sends her, and that's going to go too far out of bounds. Throw in for the Vikings now. If you're just joining us, we're about 5.5 into this second half. Score is tied at 1. Delatorre with the ball for Wheaton, plays on the ground up to Lee. Lee tried to send Herman, gets it back though. Plays Delatorre now top of the box, and you've got 4 players just completely clogging up that middle of the field.
Yeah, they're surrounding the attacking players for Wheaton, but we're also seeing some more sloppy defending from Augie here at the start of the second half. It seems like every time they clear the ball, they're trying to clear it off their own players, and you got to think that's going to come back to bite them if they continue to do that.
Literally come back towards the goal, hopefully, for Wheaton.
Yeah, and when you have the defending NCAA Player of the Year down there in Lee, that's not the kind of defending you want in your own end.
Ball's played up to Dodds, who loses it to Foltz. Ball runs over to the far side of the field. Now comes back middle of the field. Delatorre's got it for Wheaton. Little counterattack here. Wheaton's got numbers. Through ball. If that had gotten past the defense, Herman was going to be in on goal. Ball rolls out of bounds for a Wheaton corner, though. Lee and Herman lining up over the corner kick. Lee touches short to Herman, who goes right past the defender. Goal line, taking it towards the near post. Plays negative. Cleared out of bounds. Throw for Wheaton.
That's too easy, Colson.
Head coach Scott Mazia saying they've got to defend better on the goal line. Screaming at his players. This is do or die now. Ball played back to Mosier, who plays it in the air towards the top of the box. Once again, taken out of the air. Ball runs back to Karsten. Past Karsten to Foltz. Foltz plays it in the air. High ball towards the top of the box. Lee trying to win it. Lee has it over towards Kolpelman. Kolpelman has it on her right foot. Drops to Delatorre. Delatorre trying to send Kleinstra on the far side of the field. Pass is picked off. And a ball played down the far sideline. Kept in bounds by Foltz, playing it down the line to Delatorre. Drops it back to Karsten, and Karsten will drop it back to Lidner. Lidner plays Mosier, and Mosier's got Berg on the line, but plays middle of the field instead to Karsten. Karsten top of the circle for Wheaton, coming towards the attacking third of the field with the pass. And the ball is cleared out off the ground, and Dodds has got it now. Good step by Foltz dispossessing Dodds. Their leading scorer, 11 goals on the season. Mosier with a long clearance. Finding Herman. Herman head ball, middle of the field, trying to find Lee. Lee goes hard and wins the ball. She's got Kolpelman in front of her, tries to send her, but it's not going to be able to get that pass through. Clearance goes back to Delatorre, who puts it over to Mosier. Mosier has it on her right foot, plays on the ground up to Herman. I'd like to see Wheaton maybe try to attack hitting that goal line again and come back across trying to hit that penalty area instead of the top of the box area.
Yeah, that seems to...
Here's a shot on goal by Delatorre, off the keeper's hands, off the post. Now a ball played back across the goal, and that's going to be cleared up straight up the middle of the field. Karsten wins it. A little sidestep around the defender, and now it's cleared.
Another excellent save there by Radloff, Noah. That ball had eyes on it and was hammered for the near post there, and it was going to sneak in until she just barely got her fingertips on it and knocked it into the post.
Comes up with her 7th or 8th save, I believe. If you want to follow statistics live online, go to athletics.wheaton.edu. Go to the bottom right-hand corner of the page. Click on Live Stats. And then you can select your team. Follow women's soccer live stats online. Athletics.wheaton.edu. Far side of the field right now, Delatorre's got it. She's got Karsten square towards the middle, plays upfield instead to Kolpelman. Kolpelman back to the goal, trying to turn around one defender. Now sidesteps another, has Mosier to her right. Will she lay it to her? She will. Mosier is going to wind up and take a shot, and this one goes just wide of the near post.
Does it surprise you that she took the shot there?
You know, I think everyone in this stadium was expecting her to shoot it and put it just about as close as she did. She's really gotten involved in the attack a lot this game. You see it against certain teams during the season, but usually not to the extent that we've seen it today.
Yeah, she has, and you wonder if she's going to take even maybe some more offensive chances and start to drift up a little bit.
I hope so. That's going to be Kolpelman with the ball over on the far side. She's going to lose it now to Winkleman, who clears it upfield. Foltz backtracking on it. She has Dodds on her back. She's got to either play it middle of the field to Lidner, or that's what she's going to do. Lidner cutting back upfield's got it bottom of the circle for Wheaton. Coming up on midfield. Plays right foot off of Winkleman. Winkleman deflected it to Johnson, who plays it upfield to Dodds, and Dodds plays back to Johnson now. Johnson plays to Mosier, who's got all night in front of her. Plays right foot up to Lee. Tried to play a flick on pass. Looked like that was a handball by Recchia right there. No call. Ball on the ground up to Dodds now. Dodds has it and drops it back across midfield. On the far side of the field to Smith, who plays it in the air towards the top of the box, over the head of Lindner, but not Mosier. And Mosier wins the foul call as well, wins the header and the whistle.
Yeah, great play by Mosier yet again. And you can just tell this game is setting up, Noah, for the next half hour. I think the defining question is going to be, can Augustana survive? Because it seems like the few and far between offensive chances they have, there's almost just nothing there. They're trying to send one player long and play it deep to her and hope for a lucky bounce or something. But it's one of those things where they're really focused on the defensive end right now, and you never know what could happen in transition. But the questions I think for them is going to be, can they survive in their own defensive end?
And it's going to be a foul call now on Kopelman up top. Free kick for Augustana, and let's see, Recchia is going to leave this kick. And it's taken upfield to Lindner, who keeps it in play instead of letting it roll out of bounds. Lindner and Dodds. Dodds is going to slide and play this out of bounds, defending third far side for Wheaton. Lindner's got a throw now. Plays middle of the field to Foltz. Be careful if she comes across the goal here. She won't. Wise move. Plays in the air upfield instead, but ball's headed right back to her, and Dodds in the middle of the box, and Foltz wins it from her. Plays Lindner, and Lindner splits two defenders on the ground before Johnson stepped right back in and played it off the end of the goal line. Goal kick now for Wheaton. And you'll see Kashaba check back into the game. She's going to grab Kopelman. And the goal kick is going to be taken by Mosier. Played in the air towards midfield. One time to Herman, trying to get possession for Wheaton. She does. Tries to send Mosier, but Colson's got way too much speed and wins it first. Colson drops it back to Holtrup. Out of bounds, though, off of Holtrup. Wheaton throw now. Throw goes back to Delatorre. Delatorre turns backfield to Mosier, and Mosier plays right foot high. This one towards the penalty area, taken out of the air, almost headed towards her own goal by Recchia. And you'll see a corner and a substitution here for Wheaton.
Yeah, Hodina coming in for Wheaton. Looks like she's taking out Kleinstra.
And can't see if there are two players lined up over. Yep, there are. Herman and Lee lining up over the corner. Referee moving the defenders back 10 yards. Now Lee's going to play a long ball off the corner over the head of Berg, headed towards the top of the box by the defense towards Dodds. Dodds loses it now to Kashaba. Kashaba plays left foot on the ground, shot on goal. Right into the hands of Radloff, though. Radloff with a high punt. Taken out of the air in the middle of the field by Johnson. And now loses it to Delatorre out of the air. Back to Johnson and skirts past Johnson to Herman before it's cleared upfield by Holtrup. Holtrup clearance goes to Lindner. She's got Foltz on her left, Mosier on her right, and plays far side to Foltz. Foltz carrying the ball upfield, plays far side to the line to Hodina, who tries to send Kashaba. It's knocked right back at Hodina, though, and she'll play middle of the field to Karsten, who splits two defenders on the ground with the pass. Pass goes to Delatorre. Delatorre has it on her right foot, plays up to Lee. Lee with a defender right on her back. Two now, and Lee plays over to Mosier. Mosier plays right foot in the air towards the penalty area. Can Wheaton get something going? Not this time. Radloff collects the through ball.
Yeah, that one might have been a little long even for Mosier.
Yeah, couldn't see. I don't think she was trying to put a shot on.
No, I think she was trying to cross it into the box, but
yeah,
the way she's been going, you never know.
You don't. She did score from the public safety parking lot. This is going to be Delatorre trying to win the ball, and a foul is called on Johnson, obstructing play on the ground. Delatorre's pass goes short, square to Karsten towards the near side, and Karsten's going to lay it to Mosier, who plays a long ball. This one could go in the back of the net. That's going just over the crossbar. She put that one on goal, just about on goal from just inside midfield.
Yeah, and the accuracy with which she's putting these shots towards the net is just incredible. I'm pretty sure I couldn't even kick it a quarter of the way to the net from where she's almost putting it right in the top corner of the net every time.
Zach, I couldn't get it there in 5 tries, and that's with each try moving up to where the ball ended after the last one.
Well, all that to say, it's pretty impressive the way that Lauren Mosier's been shooting the ball in this game.
About 29 minutes, a little less than 29 minutes left in the second half. Tie game right now, 1-1. Both goals scored in the first half. Ball's bouncing top of the box on Augustana's box. Lee trying to win it for Wheaton. Has it on her right foot. Plays a ball on the ground, trying to find Herman. Clearance goes off the head of Della Torre. Header goes upfield, trying to find Herman once again, and Herman not able to win it for Wheaton. Now a through ball down the near sideline. Mosier has it, and Mosier coming into the attack. Mosier tries to play over to Kishaba. Defender was there, though. That's Johnson. And a long final clearance. Lidner running back on it, and don't turn middle of the field. She's got Pollock on her. She does anyway and plays Erickson, who plays out immediately. Coming right back down Wheaton's throat, though, is Augustana. And here's a foul call on Dodds in Wheaton's defending third. Free kick now for Wheaton. And the free kick is played short to Mosier, who rotates it over to Lidner. He's got it bottom of the circle for Wheaton. Plays right foot over the head of a couple defenders to Lee. Lee trying to turn, has a hand on her jersey, no call. Lee plays far side. That's what I like to see. Get the ball out there and then come back in. Gets it outside far side to Hodina. Has it at the corner flag, being double teamed. Hodina trying to go goal line, goes off of a defender and out of bounds. Actually off a Hodina and out of bounds goal kick.
I'll tell you what, though, Noah, you're right. That's exactly what you want to see. And Lee with a great few touches there to work the ball out to Hodina. And the issue was getting the ball back in. It looked like Augie defended it well once the ball was played out. There was someone right on Hodina. But that's exactly what Wheaton wants to do there.
Especially with the middle congested as it is, you got to spread the defense to be able to get back in. Mosier taking another long shot. One skip into the hands of Radloff. Mosier chatting up with Higuchi around midfield. Radloff with a long punt. This one taken by nobody. One bounce, and then Foltz trying to win it over Higuchi. Higuchi wins it. Header goes back to Lidner. Lidner cuts it past Higuchi upfield. Has got Johnson and Pollock in front of her. Splits them and plays to Della Torre, who spins around and plays upfield to Lee. Lee should look outside here, and she does again. Plays to Della Torre, who loses it now coming middle of the field. Knocked back to Lidner. Lidner coming up on the attacking third. Plays Lee, and Lee is fouled by Carey. Pretty hard foul about, 20, we'll call it 24, 25 yards out.
Yeah, and you see Augustana still playing physically and still surrounding Lee every time she touches the ball. But a clean foul, if there is such thing as a clean foul, no, I don't think there was any malicious intent there.
That does not look like 10 yards. There we go. The center referee backs him up now. And Mosier lining up behind Carson. Carson drops it to Mosier, who plays a right-footed shot low on goal into the hands of Radloff.
Looked like the ball was played a little wide of where Mosier wanted it. She had to adjust and almost kind of slide into that shot a little bit in order to put it on net. She still got a pretty good shot on net, though.
She's got 11 shots so far. We're going to see how many of them have been on goal. Rusty, our statistician over here, doing his homework. We're 5 on goal. 5 on goal, 1 in the net. That was her second of the season. That tied it up at 1, and we're still tied up at 1. About 25 minutes left in regulation.
11 shots for Mosier so far. Coming into this game, 20 on the season. So she has more than half of the shots she had already.
Ball played into Herman, and she's going to put it in the back of the net for a Wheaton lead off a Lee assist.
Yeah, what a play by Lee to work the ball into Herman there.
She just ducked under the defense, did Herman, slotted right in there, and put it in near post on the ground, beating Radloff. No nonsense. Wheaton leads 2-1.
And there it is. That's what we wanted to see, Noah, because the way that Wheaton has played this game so far, Augustana has gotten nothing going at the Wheaton net. So if the game has continued to be played the way it has been played, Wheaton's in good shape now with a 2-1 lead.
That outside back and the outside midfielder got so concerned with Mosier on that near side taking long shots that Herman was able to slip in when Lee got the pass, because Lee had Mosier in support of her, possibly giving her the ball for another long shot.
Yeah, and I don't blame them, because I was so concerned with Mosier, I almost forgot to look down at the play going on the field when they scored.
You couldn't even tell Herman was there, because Mosier had just been pounding away at the ball, putting it on goal all game. And that time, Lee almost faced towards Mosier and then played the ball into the box anyway on the ground. And Herman was right there, put it in the back of the net. Huge goal.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about earlier, Noah. This is one of the benefits to having such a deep roster like Wheaton does. You can't concentrate on just one player, and a different girl could step up every night, but obviously in this situation, the Augustana defense was so focused on Mosier that they forgot Wheaton has quite a bit of firepower up front.
That's Herman's 5th goal of the season. Talk about big goals. She scored the game winner in the championship game. Erickson coming out of the box to play this out of bounds. And that is Lee's 9th assist of the season. Throw in now for Winkleman. Throw in is on the near side of the field and cleared out by Karsten. Clearance goes up to Lee, flick on header. Herman trying to run on. That's going to be possessed and played back to the goalie, though. Radloff has it outside the box. She's going to, surprised she didn't let that roll back. No, actually, no, she cannot pick it up. When it's played back to the keeper from your own team, you cannot pick the ball up. She plays it out. Higuchi has it around midfield. Drops it back and cleared upfield and out of bounds off of Wheaton. Throw for Augustana. Almost, you'd think Augustana would slow down a little bit after that goal, but getting some of their better pressure. Trailing now. Long ball by Wheaton, upfield taken out of the air by the defense. Herman trying to win it, and she's going to be whistled for a foul, knocking down Holtrup. Recchia has really been superb in that center back position, being able to stop up the middle, aside from that last goal, you'd say. Augustana attacking once again, and Lindner clears it out. Good step by Mummert. Mummert plays upfield to Johnson, who tries to play over to the far sideline, finding Pollock, but that's going to go out of bounds. Throw for Hodina.
Yeah, but like you said, no, this is some of the better. They haven't gotten a great chance on net yet, but this is some of the better pressure we've seen from Augustana all game. Maybe it just took a goal from Wheaton to get them into shape a little bit.
Header by Karsten on the ground upfield. That's going to be cleared by Holtrup. Clearance goes off the head of Delatorre. Delatorre being defended by Higuchi, drops it back to Foltz, and Foltz clears it in the air upfield. Over the head of Kishaba, and Lee's going to be running onto this. And Lee is knocked down after the ball is dispossessed. She wins the ball back, though. Plays backfield to Hodina, and Hodina rotates it to Delatorre, who spins around a defender.
That's the second time Maria Delatorre has done that in about the last 5 minutes.
Sweet move. Going right by the defense. 2-1 is Wheaton's lead right now, with about 21 minutes left. And we're going to have a substitution here for Wheaton.
Looks like Kopelman coming in.
And a throw on the near side for Mosier. Her kicks are not only long, her throw-ins are as well. This one goes all the way to the middle of the field to Karsten. Karsten plays upfield to Kopelman, who gets her first touches after checking back in. Drops it back to Karsten, who sends Lee down the far sideline. Lee and Recchia are going to try to battle for it, and Recchia heads it out of bounds. That's going to be a Wheaton throw. Attacking third of the field, top of the box, extended far side. Throw goes back, referee ducks under it, finding Karsten. Karsten drops it back to Delatorre, has it on her right foot, plays in the air hard towards the goal. That's going to be on goal. Saved by Radloff, who's been fantastic this game.
Yeah, you can't say enough about the way that Radloff has played in this game. She just looks so calm under a lot of pressure there in her own net this entire game.
Again, if Wheaton wins tonight, there will be a game Saturday for the Thunder. Where it will be is yet to be determined. Actually, this win is still yet to be determined. We got about a little less than 20 minutes left right now. Illinois Wesleyan and Carthage will be playing tomorrow, and then on Saturday, the conference championship game will be held. It can be held in one of 3 possible locations, either Illinois Wesleyan, Wheaton, or Augustana. If Illinois Wesleyan is eliminated by Carthage, then it will be held at the victor of this game's home place. Free kick now for Mosier on the near side, as she was fouled just shy of midfield in Wheaton territory.
Yeah, and obviously you'd like to have that conference championship game at home, but at this point all you can do is worry about this game. If Illinois Wesleyan wins, the conference championship game is going to be played at Illinois Wesleyan no matter who wins this game. So that's not something Wheaton can worry about. They got to take care of business here.
Delatorre spins around another defender, plays Karsten. Karsten with a shot on goal, and that's going to be slipped into the hands of Recchia, who bobbled it for a second. Kopelman was there, but just too late.
Yeah, another great save by Radloff, and that's a tough rebound to control, and she controlled it well.
Radloff, if Recchia had played that ball with her hands in the box, it would have been a penalty kick for Wheaton. Hodina with the ball on the far side, drops it back to Foltz, who plays it in the air long down the far sideline. Lee trying to win it out of the air. Ball is played out of bounds, and that's going to be a Wheaton throw. Far side of the field attacking third. Hodina to take this one. She drops it back to Delatorre, who has Karsten in the middle of the field. Will Delatorre spin again? She won't. She plays Karsten this time, who drops it back to Foltz, who's got a lot of space in front of her. Now Foltz will play right foot over the head of the defense, finding Kopelman towards the goal line, far side. Now towards the corner flag. Kopelman shielding the ball. Another defender comes to help. Kopelman trying to play around that second defender and does. Now plays it back to Foltz. Foltz plays in the air towards the top of the box. That's taken off the ground, off the bounce by Winkleman, playing it upfield. Higuchi and Mosier battling for it. Mosier comes out on top, but just for a second, Higuchi wins it back and now drops it to Winkleman, who plays upfield. Good step by Berg. And they're going to call a foul on Berg's step. Or maybe her second effort trying to get back into play.
Yeah, and this could be, with about 16 minutes left in this game, this could be one of the few good chances Augustana has left before the end of this game.
Long ball played into Wheaton's box, taken out of the air by Foltz, headed off an attacker, and then Karsten with a high ball. This one clear to the bottom of the circle for Wheaton. Lee trying to come up with it. Lee's got Herman making a run, and she sends Herman. Herman is away. She's on the near side, though. She's got to come back middle of the field. Puts a shot on, and Radloff is there.
Yeah, I think Herman was trying to cross that to the far side to Kopelman. Just played it a little too long, and Radloff was able to cut it off.
Mosier's got it in the backfield for Wheaton. Plays in the air over the head of one defender. Headed back to Holtrup, though, and Holtrup plays middle of the field. That's going to be Delatorre with it. Delatorre drops back across midfield to Foltz on the far side. Foltz has it on her right foot. Plays to her left, though. Delatorre with it. Delatorre drops far sideline to Hodina, who plays it in the air, middle of the field, taken out of the air by Winkleman. And Winkleman's going to drop it back now. Long clearance by Carey, taken out of the air by Berg. And Berg plays upfield to Herman. Herman with Holtrup in front of her and plays off of Holtrup down the near sideline. Kept in play. Ball rolls back to Karsten now in the middle of the field. Karsten being defended by Winkleman. Plays square to Delatorre. Delatorre coming up on the top of the box. Has it on her right foot. We may see a shot here. She does. And this is going to go just wide of the mark. Near post.
Number 2, Amanda Bucci, and number 10, Liz Schubert. And then for Wheaton, number 8, Carrie Kleinstra.
2 substitutions for Augustana checking in. Amanda Bucci and Liz Schubert. And Schubert got some time in the first half. Bucci did not. Kleinster checks back into the game for Hodina. Both coaches keeping fresh legs coming in on the field. That's going to be Foltz with it on the far side. Plays over to Kleinster. Kleinster has it going towards the goal line. Now cuts it back. Trying to come in from the side of the box and loses it. Back to Foltz. Long ball. That's going to go out of bounds. Shot just wide of the goal.
You know, it's been working all game for Wheaton to throw some of these long shots towards the net. They've been getting a lot of pressure on the net. Now you think maybe you want to calm it down a little bit, though, because this is going to become a possession game at this point with about 14 minutes left. This is one of those points where if you're Wheaton with a 2-1 lead, you want to run some clock. You want to possess the ball. It's not about, you know, working every shot you can get towards the net anymore.
One of the reasons this defense has been so hard to penetrate is because they've laid back so much, not really stepping up very much at all. All four defenders still in Augustana territory right now, as the rest of the team is in the attacking third of the field. Header by Augustana. That's going to be collected off the bounce by Erickson. Augustana looking for a foul call as Mosier goes down, and it looks like she's just cramped up a little bit here, trying to stretch out her hamstring.
And it's not surprising that we'd see a cramp out there with the unseasonably warm weather here tonight for the Chicago area. At the start of the game, I think it was still in the high 60s or low 70s.
I'll take that as long as possible. Last winter was long and cold.
Yes, it was. Unfortunately, I don't know how much longer we're going to get to enjoy this warm weather.
And you know, it surprised me a lot because it probably shouldn't have surprised me living in Chicago my entire life.
And Wheaton number 10, Aaron Hodina.
But I think it surprised me because when you're outside walking to classes, Zach, you've got no heated hallways to walk through like you do in high school.
Right.
That's what got me. Walking over to chapel or to music from one side of campus to the other, trudging through the snow.
Yeah, and you know, the cold weather I can handle, but it's that bitter wind when it's, you know, already 10 below outside that really kills you.
We've got very little wind here tonight. We do have a lead now, though. Score is 2-1 in favor of Wheaton College. Mosier got the first goal, and Herman picked up a big goal in the second half off an assist by Lee. And Mosier still stretching out in Wheaton's box. You think maybe, oh, excuse me, that's not Mosier actually on the ground. Mosier is standing up in the middle of the field right now. I am not sure who that is.
And you know what, I really didn't see either.
Foltz is standing over there, and Chris Rice. This may be Chris Rice's most active game as the athletic trainer for Wheaton so far this year.
Someone give him an award. I think he deserves to maybe share the MVP honors with Lauren Mosier for this game.
Came out early when Orweiler went down, then again when Berg went down. And when Berg went down, he had to trot all the way over to the far side of the field.
That was impressive. And
it's a long trot.
I don't know what his 40 time is, but the way that he ran over there, he might want to consider going out for the football team.
He was booking it.
He really was.
Pete Ittersagen, watch out.
Yeah, I heard some NFL teams might be here just to scout Chris Rice.
Chris Rice is now helping a Wheaton player up off the field, still trying to find out who that is. Looks like it's Berg, and he is going to carry Berg off the field. Second Wheaton player that's been carried off the field tonight. Really kind of a bizarre game injury-wise for Wheaton.
Yeah, it really has been. And that one, it was hard to even tell what happened. It didn't even look like there was any contact made within the box. It was almost turned your head and looked back and realized that there was a player down.
Sometimes you get bad ankle rolls. We're going to hope that's about all it is, as she is lifted off the field. Free kick for Erickson. Actually, yep, free kick for Erickson. She plays it short to Mosier, and we're back underway. A little over 13 left in the game. Played upfield. Delatorre has it now, coming across midfield on the ground. Carrying it up still, Winkleman's not stepping. Now she'll play it past Winkleman to Lee, and Lee touches it up, trying to find Herman once again in the middle of the field. That's going to be cleared out of bounds, though, by Bucci, who just checked into the game.
Substitution for Wheaton. Number 19, Mackenzie Williams.
Mackenzie Williams checking into the game for Wheaton.
And, Zach, I think this is where your comment earlier about Wheaton got to try to play more of a possession game. You'll see that factor in a little bit here with Williams coming in. A lot of times they try to send her through on the ground off of possession in the midfield, and she tries to run onto it. So I think you'll see a lot more of that. Ball drop back now to Fultz. Fultz has it on her right foot and winds up, plays the ball towards the top of the box, and Lee is pulled down, no call. Ball cleared out just a little bit. That's going to be Schubert with it. Schubert plays over far side to Smith, who plays to the line. That's going to be Tim with it. Holly Tim drops it back, and it's cleared upfield off the head of Higuchi to Fultz, and Fultz is going to play it towards about midfield. Schubert's there to collect it and then lose it.
Nice play by the ref.
Yeah. Delatorre and the center referee combining for that tackle. Williams trying to run onto a ball up top, and it's cleared out. Back to Fultz, who sends another high clearance into Viking territory. Taken out of the air by Carey. Goes straight to Kopelman, though. Kopelman cuts it past Smith on the far side, going towards the goal line. Now cuts it back, has Lee in the middle. Drops it back instead to Delatorre. Delatorre with one defender in front of her, attacking third of the field. Coming up on the top of the box, plays Lee. Lee touches it around one defender and then loses it. Cleared back to Fultz. Fultz plays right foot in the air, and might have even been better playing that on the ground to Delatorre. Possession switches momentarily, and then Fultz makes up for it and regains possession before a clearance by the Vikings. Clearance goes back to Lidner, who plays on the ground to Kleinstra. Kleinstra cuts back towards the sideline, carrying it up out of the defending third, and she has the ball taken away from her by Bucci. Bucci plays middle of the field past Higuchi, and Karsten's got it. Trying to split two defenders on the ground. Winkleman comes up with it. Winkleman back to Holtrop, who plays in the air over to the far side of the field. Hodina's got it. Hodina plays straight off the hands of Holly Tim, and no whistle. We saw Hodina. Was it Hodina?
Yes, it was. It was Hodina who played it off her hand earlier in the game in the same kind of situation.
And was called for the handball. Although this time the player's back was to the official, so it was a tougher angle for him.
It must have been, but it looked like everyone else on the field and the stands realized that ball was played with a hand.
Not of monumental importance, though.
No.
Throw-in for Wheaton goes back to Karsten. Karsten plays near sideline, finding Kleinstra. Kleinstra with the ball on her left foot, cuts it back to her right, going towards the goal line, being defended by one Viking player. Now plays it across the box, trying to find Williams. That's going to be knocked out. Winkleman with it. Winkleman and Mosier colliding. Winkleman comes out on top and plays it up to Higuchi. Higuchi drops it back to Winkleman, who plays left foot one time, upfield straight to Lidner. And Lidner plays to the near side to Fultz, who clears it to the bottom of the circle. Delatorre with it. 9:30 left in regulation. Wheaton trying to hang on and move to the CCIW Tournament Conference Finals. I guess conference would be a little bit redundant there. College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin. Bottom of the circle for Augustana right now. That's Winkleman trying to play near side. Looks like she was trying to hit Bucci with a pass. Bucci wasn't up for running for it, though, and Mosier collects it in the middle of the field. Now ball is played up to Lee, and she's knocked down. This one will be called. Free kick for Karsten, and Higuchi stepped right in front of the kick as Karsten was about to take it, and boos rain in from the stands. Karsten plays the free kick near side to Kleinstra. Thought about coming middle of the field, then hesitated, now does, and then loses it to Bucci. Bucci's touched those too far ahead of her, and Karsten's got it. Karsten plays over far side. That's looks like Kopelman battling for it. Really battling for it, trying to regain possession, and she will. And she plays across the box over the head of Lee, and that's going to be headed out back to Kopelman. And finally, a high clearance by Recchia, Clearance goes to Hodina, trying to cut it back middle of the field. Cuts it around one defender and now plays middle of the field, finding Delatorre. Coming up on the top of the attacking third of the field. Delatorre on the ground, down the middle of the box, finding Kopelman. Good sliding tackle by Recchia. That would have been real dangerous. Now it's going to be far side clearance. Down the middle of the field, finding Lidner's left foot. Right back into Viking territory. Lee has it on her right foot. She thought about a long shot, now cuts it back to her left, and Recchia with another sliding tackle. Dispossessing Lee. Ball's cleared up to Foltz. Foltz plays on the ground, far side, finding Hodina. Hodina megs her defender. Has got Kopelman in front of her, one defender in front of her as well, and she loses it. Ball's touched back, though, to Karsten. Karsten's got it on her right foot, plays up to Lee. Lee trying to cut it to her right foot. Being pulled, being pushed, no call. She goes down once again. Cleared up to Lidner, and Lidner plays up to Williams, who touches it to Kleinstra. Bowls through a couple defenders, and then loses it to the third. That's Holtrup. Holtrup plays on the ground, splitting two Wheaton defenders. That's going to be Winkleman with it now. Winkleman plays over, trying to hit the far side of the field. Goes off of Schubert unintentionally and cleared into Viking territory. Wheaton throw. And you got the Viking powerhouses getting ready to check back into the game here, Zach, with just under 7 minutes left.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to bring everyone on the attacking end and in preparation for the last few minutes of this game.
And that's going to be Pollock, Doyle, and here's played across the box, and Radloff's got it. Pollock, Doyle, Colson, and Dodds.
The only negative about that, Noah, is I think they might be breaking up the prolific duo of Bucci and Higuchi on the offensive end. That just really has a nice ring to it.
Bucci and Higuchi. And Aducci, actually. Williams with it. Williams trying to send Kleinstra down the near sideline and goes out of bounds. That's going to be a throw for the Vikings, and a lot of substitutions for the Vikings. We called them just a moment ago.
Number 17,
That's going to be Dodds, Doyle, Pollock, and
Aaron
Colson checking into the game. They'll grab Holtrup, Tim, Recchia, and Schubert.
Well, I stand corrected. The Uchi is still very much a part of this game.
I'm pleased to see that. It makes it funner to call.
Absolutely.
Now here's a ball thrown in to the foot of Delatorre, who plays a long ball towards the top of the box. Lee trying to win it in the middle, and she does. Has it on her right foot and trying to put a shot on. That's going to be off a defender, out of bounds. Wheaton corner kick.
Entering number 3, Jamie Herman.
Here comes the lady with the go-ahead goal so far. Jamie Herman, she's going to check in for Williams. Thunder corner, played short to Kleinstra. Kleinstra beating her defender goal line, now going towards the near post, off a defender once again. Another corner. Carey kicked that one out of bounds.
Corner kick.
That's a good play there for Wheaton, though. The more pressure they can get on net, the more situations they can have like this where they'll win a corner and be able to rag some more time.
And this corner is going to be lined up by Kleinstra and Lidner. Lidner touches it short to Kleinstra, who splits two defenders on the ground, finding Delatorre, sidesteps one defender, takes a shot into the hands of Radloff.
And you saw Augustana send not two defenders, but three at that short corner there. And Wheaton was still able to find a way to break the pressure and get a good opportunity at the net.
4 minutes left. Wheaton trying to hang on over Augustana. We beat them 3-0 during the regular season, and we're leading 2-1 here. Long ball to Lidner, who just clears it out instantly. Clearance goes to about midfield, and a long clearance right back Wheaton's way by Smith, and then played back into Viking territory. And here's another long ball towards Lidner. Lidner's header goes to the near side. Foltz wins it, plays a high ball, headed out by Kleinstra. Header goes middle of the field, though. Winkleman has it, and then loses it. Foltz with a long clearance to the bottom of the circle for Wheaton. Over the head of a defender, no call, and that's the right call. Lee coming upfield. Wheaton has numbers, 3-on-2, and Lee steps over the ball and then is knocked down, no call. And Lee with a a foul there trying to get up off the ground. Just a bit unfortunate as Wheaton was coming streaking down the middle of the field.
Yeah, it is unfortunate, but I think Lee made a smart play after she did stumble over the ball to commit the foul and kind of slow things down because it looked like Augustana was going to have numbers coming the other way.
Under 3 minutes left now. Ball is played back to Mummert, who plays it upfield. That's going to be Mosier who comes into possession of it. Plays it over to Delatorre, who plays it upfield once again. Herman's going to try to win it. And a clearance deflected off of Herman. That's Carey not able to get it out. Herman's got two defenders on her, drops it back off of the foot of Bucci and out of bounds. Throw near side, coming up on the attacking third for Kleinstra. Throw goes into Augustana, though. Now played towards the middle of the field. That's going to be Pollock with it, and a clock stoppage and a card to the Wheaton bench. And head coach Pete Felsky is going to receive a yellow card. Couldn't quite tell what that was from up here.
Yeah, the only confusing thing about that card, I think, Noah, is that I wouldn't be too thrilled about it if I was Augustana because it looked like they had possession and we're moving upfield.
A look out. Augustana puts a shot deflected off of, well, maybe not deflected. Shot just wide of the goal. And even though the yellow card stopped their possession for a second, they got right back in there.
Yeah, good play by Augustana to get right back in the play and get a great opportunity on net.
Clock has stopped once again, and we'll resume on this kick. Mosier's kick goes upfield. That's going to be taken out of the air by Lee. Flick on header is met in the air by that Augustana defense. Carey taking it out of the air. Now ball goes back to Mummert, who moved from the midfield to the backfield for Augustana. And Lee's got it right around midfield. Lee coming upfield. Now slows the pace down a little bit and tries to send Herman towards the near side, and Mummert's there. Mummert plays up towards Dodds. Karsten takes it out of the air. Karsten to Mosier, and Mosier tries to play upfield, and advantage is called at first. And then when Wheaton loses possession, the foul is called. Mosier up off the turf fairly quickly, which you like to see after already 3 instances of it taking a while this game for this Wheaton team to get up off the turf.
1 minute remaining in regulation.
1 minute left. Lidner with the ball on the far sideline, steps over the ball. Now plays past the defender, trying to find Hodina. And Wheaton's just got to hold on to this lead. Ball rolls out of bounds now on the far sideline. Maybe a little desperation attack now by Augustana.
Yeah, I think you'll see all 10 players and maybe even 11 move up into the attacking zone here.
This is likely the last game for the losing team tonight, as an at-large bid would be extremely unlikely for a team losing in their conference semifinals. And Kleinster's got the ball, 15 seconds left, plays off of Mummert. And Mummert plays the ball out of bounds, less than 10 seconds left. And Kleinster's got herself a throw. She's going to milk this one all the way down to 0.
2, 1.
And Wheaton College has advanced to the CCIW Tournament Finals. Victors here 2-1 over Augustana. And a little bit of sigh of relief and smiles finally beginning to spread over these girls' faces.
Yeah, it was a well-played game, I think, by Wheaton. The score maybe a little closer than the actual game was played. Wheaton really thoroughly dominated almost the entire game, and they come out with a win, and that's all that matters.
So here's the situation. Tomorrow, Carthage will be playing Illinois Wesleyan at Illinois Wesleyan. If Illinois Wesleyan wins, Wheaton College will be playing in Bloomington, Illinois on Saturday. It's a day game, I believe. But if Carthage wins, since Carthage was the 4 seed, Wheaton being the 2 seed, we would get to host this tournament here. Both teams gave Wheaton a loss, and now it's just kind of play the waiting game for about a day.
Yeah, and obviously you'd like to be able to play at home, but there's nothing that we can do about it. They're just going to have to wait and see. And no matter who they play, it's not going to be an easy game. Like you said, both of these teams beat Wheaton in CCIW play during the regular season. So they should come out and be ready for a very tough game on Saturday, no matter where the game is played.
And both of the games that Wheaton lost to were actually a lot like this one. And the only difference was that Wheaton in this game was able to squeak more goals by than their opponents. Again, Augustana with very few shots, yet they were able to put one through early, actually took the lead in this game. And why don't we talk about your MVP of the game?
Well, I think that as we talked about the whole game, Lauren Mosier deserves a lot of credit for this one. She scored the first goal in quite simply one of the best shots I've ever seen in a soccer game, just blasting it from very deep into the net. And it wasn't just the goal. She played very solid defense the entire game. She, like you said, I think she had at least 11 shots in the game because she had 11 at one point. And it really caused the Augustana defense to have to focus on her, which, like we mentioned before, was a big part of the reason that Herman was able to score the second goal from Wheaton, because they were so concerned about Mosier shooting the ball.
Now, if we play Carthage, this is a team that had 2 shots against us, 2 shots to 25. We had 25 shots against Carthage. They had 2. Both of their shots went in the goal, and both of them were from distance, kind of like Mosier's shot. Is Wheaton going to have to adjust their defensive scheme at all to try to maybe take that away, or you just look at that and you say it was a fluke, we're going to go beat them?
Well, of course, you're disappointed if you have 2 shots against you and they both go in the net. But if you can outshoot a team 25-2 in a game, I've got to think you would like your odds. If someone told the Wheaton team that they could outshoot their opponents by 25-2 before Saturday, I think they'd take it. So it's just going to be a matter of doing what they've been doing, getting good chances at the offensive end.
And there was 1 card in the game awarded to the Wheaton bench. We're going to get some final end of the game statistics for you if our printer works up here in the press box. And hopefully also an interview with head coach Pete Felsky, if he's willing. Right now he's giving him a pep talk, maybe a congratulatory talk, maybe not, maybe a we need to play better than this kind of talk. Which one do you think it is?
Well, I think that maybe there's a little element of both in the talk. I mean, knowing how intense this team is, I have a feeling they're not going to be celebrating after a win like this. They're not going to be, acting like they've accomplished something. This team is back-to-back defending national champions, and they know they haven't really won anything yet. So I think this probably is a talk that isn't really celebratory in nature, and maybe is almost even more looking forward to the game on Saturday than anything else.
So they've got a lot to prepare for. Currently an unknown opponent, and we're going to see if Coach Felsky, usually he looks up here and we're able to give him the thumbs up. He has not looked up here yet, still walking over here. Maybe he just won't look up here and he'll come up the stairs anyway. We'll see what he does. He is coming up the stairs. So we're going to have the camera pan for those of you at home or watching online. Okay, we got Kelly Foltz and Coach Felsky joining us up here.
Do you mind if Kelly's here?
Not at all.
For a couple seconds. Kelly wants to take the headphones just for a second.
Go for it.
I just want to say happy early birthday to my parents, Brad and Kay Foltz. It's their birthday tomorrow, so I miss you and love you, and happy early birthday. Thanks.
She got a win for you guys, too.
She's been wanting to do that for the last couple of days.
Hey, she should have come earlier. She can come every game.
Yeah.
You bring your players on up here, Coach.
All right.
Especially when they outshoot their opponents 29-3. This game led up an early goal, but how big was that momentum change just 5 minutes later?
Yeah, we've talked about it before. We have a habit of giving up those early goals, and it's something where we've talked about it, and now we're trying not to talk about it, and we don't know what we should do, what we shouldn't do. We know we're going to get opportunities to score. Unfortunately, we're having to work even twice as hard finish those because we have been getting behind. So it's something we have to address, but like you said, turned around a little bit more quickly tonight with the comeback goal a couple minutes later. So we'll see what happens.
Now, earlier in the game, we saw a couple players go down with injuries. We're not going to try to speculate on any of those. We did see adjustments made, though.
Yep.
You dropped Carrie back to the midfield, and she just jumped right back in there. Mia Del Torre, too.
Yeah, both of them are very capable. We've got quite a few players that can play in the middle of the field. The question now is trying to tweak the lineup a little bit to get the best chemistry and the best offensive thrust. We want to still continue to be an offensive team. Both Carrie and Mia can do that for us. Their styles are different, but they're both very effective at what they do. So, yeah, the injuries, Jamie Orweiler, I'm not sure that one's a real good one. She may be out for a while. Brittany, I think, at the end there came back with just some cramping. So we should be all right. We'll get some rest, get some hydration in us, and we'll be back.
Last question, quick question. What are you guys going to do to prepare now for Saturday?
That's a great question. We need to rest. We had a lot of kids play a lot of minutes tonight. We're going to have to do that. We need to tweak some things in the back. Obviously, with Jamie out now, we need to deal with that situation as well. But we need to figure some things out in the back, and that's probably priority number one this week.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right.
Congratulations. See you Saturday.
Thank you.
All right, so your final score today is 2-1. Wheaton coming away with the victory in this one. Moving on, they'll be playing Saturday either at Illinois Wesleyan or here at Joe Bean Stadium, playing either Carthage or Illinois Wesleyan. Shots 29-3 in favor of Wheaton. 13 of Wheaton's 29 shots in this game were on goal. 2 of them were in the back of the goal. The first one was the equalizer coming off the foot of Lauren Mosier, her second goal of the season. And the second goal for Wheaton came off the foot of Jamie Herman. Big goal last year in the NCAA finals to give them the win 1-0, and this one giving them the lead 2-1. That was your final score. Erickson played all 90 minutes, gave up that one goal, also had a save. Radloff was fantastic for this Augustana team, coming up with 11 saves on the evening. Wheaton advances. They win 2-1. We'll see you Saturday. I'm Noah Helm. I was joined today by Zach Bowler. This has been a production of WETN Sports.